Yeah. So okay. So man, I got a good pressing question
Okay.
that I want to ask
Dum
you
dum
that I think
dum.
right that I think that a lot of people kind of want to know, or at least me as a inquiring mind really wants to know, man. And it's like, why didn't Roland call the V stage the RD 3000 or the RD 2500? You know what I mean? Because when you look at the VR platform, you know what I mean? Like it's not, I mean, of course we goes all the way back to like '03, right? But there was so many versions of the VR. Like you had the VR, I think I had a VR 760, which was the
Yeah.
first one and first in that. I had that organ combo kind of situation, right? And then I know there was a 730 and there was a '09, and then there was like
Yeah.
three or four, but the RD version, the RD goes all the way back to the RD 1000, like in the 80s, and then you got the RD 500 and the RD 600,
Yeah.
and then I came up on the RD 500. You know what I'm saying?
The
I
RD
came
800.
RD 800. Then there was the I had
700, 700
I
GX.
I
Yeah.
had a
Yeah.
700, so I had a 700 that I played
Yeah.
through most of the early 2000s, and then I think one of the first churches that I played for out here when I moved to Charlotte had a RD 700 NX that I played on for a couple of years over there. So the RD seems to be like a bigger platform, right? And just from outside looking in, so why V stage versus, because I mean I got a homeboy RD 2000 that he's had since like 2018. So that platform
Yeah.
hasn't been really updated. You got the EX, but it hasn't really been updated until since forever. So why not RD? Because that's more of a stage piano situation than why go VR? Why resurrect that brand?
Okay, cool. That's a great question. I think we have to look at all of our different synthesizers, our different keyboards, pianos, whatever you want to classify them as. Everyone has a particular job. So we got to think about that. And so the way I kind of spin it, it at its core, because a lot of these keyboards do a lot of different functionality, different things. At its core, what is it designed to do? And for me personally, I feel the RD has always been about piano. That's how I feel the RD. And we go back to 1986 with the RD 1000. And that at that time in history, music history, instrument history, that was the first slab piano. That
Yeah,
was one of the first slab that,
yeah,
pianos. And they thought our founder, Mr. Kakahashi, was kind of crazy for doing it. And so that was the first. So when you go to the RD 1000, aka the MKS 20, and you see the iterations of RDs, they've always been kind of Roland Digital, the Roland Digital piano. That's always been their focus. In the RD 2000, we did put some aspects of organ in there, but at its core, RDs are about, in my opinion, piano. Okay,
yeah,
so so then it's like, well, Ed, how come you guys are doing the VR, the V stage? It has the V
yeah.
piano and all that stuff in there. Well, if we look back at our history, historically, because Roland's about 54 years old, starting back
Yeah.
in the days when it was a boutique company. We just got, had a long history because we make some really good stuff. If you look at the VR, starting with the VK, I think it was the VK1
Yeah.
back in the day, the first kind of thing, and VK3, I think of course, VK7, VK8, and
Yeah.
VK88, which is behind me.
Right.
And then we came out in 2003. So this concept wasn't necessarily a new thing. 2003, which predates some other manufacturers that weren't even around really at that time. So I'm just gonna just drop that little bit of knowledge there without mentioning anybody's name. But I feel like the VR was for our gigging players that just wanted, I want to go out there and play in a 76 kind of format, or even an 88, but also for our players that are out there gigging, weight of the instrument becomes an issue.
True.
That
Yeah.
becomes an issue because you guys are going, well, we're all going from the studio to the car to the car to the gig, from the gig to the car to the car. So that weight comes an issue. And so we tried to really work on the V stage kind of being a very solid instrument without a lot of extra things that maybe Fantom would offer, but and really focused on giving you just the raw components, the real specific things that you need, very highly curated sounds and even the top part to really make it for our live players to just go on it and just do what they got to do without any issues. But in my opinion, if you're a piano, I don't want to say snob, but that piano purist.
Which I am.
Piano purist.
A piano purist. That's word of the day.
I'm here for it.
Well, you know what I mean. One of the best compliments I heard on our pianos, and I think it might have been an RD 2000. Yeah, it was probably an RD 2000. I was in New York, and we were at Steinway Hall. And at that time, and I don't know how it is now, but at that time, we were like, hey, what do you think about this? And Steinway, I don't know if I get in trouble for saying that, but they said, I said, what do you think about the action? They said, it's pretty good. And I'm like, all right, cool, that's a win. That's because that's Steinway.
Definitely.
So I was like, all right, I don't expect him to say it's better. But back to your original point, why not call this an RD 3000? Well, because it's not. It's really not a part of that lineage. You know what I'm saying? I can see that. So, yeah. So, and this one, we called it V-Stage, because this isn't an upgrade of the VR 730 because we've upgraded a lot more things. Not updated. We've upgraded things. With the whole. And we're gonna get. I'm really excited to show Sharon and all you cats some of the stuff like that. Yeah, go ahead.
So you're saying it's more like this is a new platform versus So I'm gonna pull this up here so we can see it. So it's more of a new platform than a reimagining of the original, is what you're saying. So it's not. We shouldn't compare this to the RD, or we shouldn't compare this to a VR, old school version. Is what you're saying. But is that kind of where it developed from, where we rooted from? But this is a whole new monster, so to speak.
Absolutely. Well, you got to think back in the old days of Roland. We had the SH1000, right?
Yep.
That's one of our very first synthesizers. And everything, if we want to think with that kind of thinking, everything's kind of evolved out of that, And then if we go further in synthesizers, when we talk about the footings, and that's something that the tone wheel organs share and synthesizers share, that comes from the pipe, how long the pipe had to be in the pipe organs. So it's kind of neat. So it's kind of an evolution, and so it's a big tree of that synthesizer, or however you want to think about it. But this is just a different branch. So yeah, I would say this. You can see its roots in some of the VR, but we've gone different than the VR. So it's kind of deserved its own kind of offshoot kind of thing. So yeah.
Got it. That makes sense. So a big challenge then is this: why? I'm careful how I say it, because I don't want to throw it in this way. But why copy the format that the Nord has then? Why that because I know you were part of the development. You told me some things the other day when we were talking, that kind of how you had input on the development on that and stuff. So why was the choice so much this? Because the stigma that people are carrying with it now, even myself, I fell into this same gap. It looks like a black Nord Stage 3. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Just if I don't know anything about this board, this is the first thing I've been introduced. I've been a Nord guy my whole life or whatever. And then Roland drops this thing. The first thought of my mind is, oh, it's a black stage. It looks like a black Stage 3. Why did they go that way?
You know what? I feel that, but once again, the way I was fielding this at NAMM, I just look at our history. I pull up a VR 760, and we start getting into, well, with that particular format, who was first? So Roland will come up with an innovation, and sometimes that innovation maybe doesn't take off at first. Like for example, we look at the TR-808. Back when it was for sale in its heyday, I think it was 86, 87, but it didn't sell the greatest. But it wasn't until later it took it a little bit to kind of catch on. So I go back to the VR 760
Yeah,
which
that was
was
the one
in
I had.
2002. That's the one I kind of go back to. So you could say we're copying, but I'm like, are we? If we came up with that format first, so
I can get with it.
if any, so and I'm not gonna mention any names or really try and throw shade, but it's just like, I guess maybe because on my side, I love keyboards, but I also love the history of our keyboards.
Yes.
And so and then like you, I was in college or and playing, and that VR 760 was a game changer for me. And so
Oh, absolutely.
I'd never seen anything like that. And at that time, I guess Mike, we're gonna date ourselves. At the turn of the century, all
Y2K.
you keyboard,
Jeez, when we still
you
using
guys-
CDs.
Sheesh.
you guys remember the organ Clone Wars? The Clone Wars.
Oh yeah,
from the turn of the century.
CX3,
Yeah, man.
VR.
So-
like I said, VK7. Like I had a VK7.
Yeah, the
VK7 is still
CX3,
cold.
the XB1, the
XB1.
VK7,
Yep. XK.
Yeah, so-
all of them.
And I'm mentioning those because I'm not throwing shade. That's just part of those Clone Wars. No, okay.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
part of that. And so when the VR 760 came out, now I essentially had a VK7, VK8, which I loved at that time, and now I actually have pianos and EPs and synths in there. I didn't have to necessarily bring a module back in the day, or another keyboard technically.
Yeah.
So I think you got to kind of look at the history of that, and you could say you were copying, but like I said, if who did it first, and
Yeah,
so,
let me see, because the first Nords, let's see, let's ask
2005, Doc. North
I think it was
Stage
2000.
1,
Let's see, Nord Stage 1, Nord Stage, just for the people
Yeah,
like
just
watching
the
at
North
home.
Stage.
No,
Stage
please.
1. I remember release date,
Yeah.
right?
If I'm
Yeah,
incorrect,
it was-
correct me. That's totally cool.
Yep,
But
April
2005.
2025. 2005, yep, April 2000.
So-
So literally, they're on their 20th anniversary of the stage, so to speak.
But
That
take
makes
a look
sense.
at the stage and see if it has the organ on there, because I don't know
Yeah,
if the
did
first
that.
iteration of the stage had the organ. Maybe it did have those LED lights.
Man, you know you in history when you on SOS. When you on sound on sound,
Man,
like,
listen.
you
shout out
made
to
it.
SOS. Love SOS.
Triple
Shout out
layer.
to
Let's
them.
see what let's see what they would. This is what Nord was. Yes,
They
so
had,
was
yeah.
They had to click. They had the organ. They had the little click button joints.
The click
Yeah.
button.
They actually had a rack module too.
I remember
Rack
that.
module too, one of the first electros.
And also don't forget the VK8M. That was one of the first
Yep.
rack modules
Yep.
for
That's
us,
true.
and that was predates that. So the VK8, VK7, and the VR 760 predate this, and so that's kind of how I kind of throw back. Like,
I remember this.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember this.
And I ain't
remember
gonna
this.
hold
was
you,
one of
Ed,
those.
like the VK7, VK77, VK8, VK88, the 8M, they all sound crazy. They sound great.
yeah.
So I think, but if you think about it though, it's almost like vehicles, right? You'll see one vehicle that comes out with innovative technology, and then all the other vehicles get that innovative technology. So I think it's copying, but I think it's also a good idea. And I one thing that I appreciate about what they did, Ed, with this V-Stage, and I was telling my boy Kenny this today or yesterday, that for the price point is the big thing for Roland, and one of the biggest game changers, because you can argue with everybody else. I ain't gonna say argue with your mammy on this one, 'cause-
Not your mammy.
but argue with somebody else on it. That doggone Zen-Core technology, I don't think people have dug into that. I think they're just fascinated with the new boards that have come out. But the game-changing thing about Roland is that they're putting that Zen-Core technology in most, if not all, of their synthesizers, and they have the other options for, okay, we have the Zen-Core is the platform. Then we have, like, for the Jupiter X and XM, then you have the Jupiter X, the sound. What am I trying to say? The sound profile for that.
Yep.
Same thing with Juno X. Same thing with the Fantom expansions and all of that. And they just make it so
Yeah.
not even just user friendly, but user intuitive. They have so many tools, especially with their doggone Roland Cloud, to where you can integrate different things, but you can also go into that keyboard easily, and you're not just changing ADSR. You can look at the actual wavetables, and me and you, Ed, we talked about this at NAMM when we were talking about J-pop not being in the Phantom. I put it in this Phantom. We can play that later, but but just being able to go to those wavetables and to manipulate sounds and create sounds that you need in your setup. So I mean, for me, that's the game changer right there. There are some things I feel like they need to improve. We'll talk about that later because Ed Gearing give us the whole rundown. So, you know, but
Yeah.
my 2 cents.
Yeah.
I think that's worth more than 2 cents. That's good. So Ed, go ahead. What you about to say?
No. I was going to say with the Zen-Core sound engines, you know, one thing with Roland synths and a lot of keyboards over the years, and all of us that have been playing keyboards for many years, we've fallen kind of victim to this. You have, let's say, X keyboard, you got whatever it is, but then the new version comes out and the architecture's different, just the way stuff is laid different, and those sounds aren't there. So in these latest generations of the Roland synth products, we're trying to make it so that way if you have a Juno D, the new Juno D, and you get a Fantom, you know, you upgrade, get your Fantom, you can share some of those Zen-Core tones in the Fantom or from the Fantom into your Juno D, you know, because maybe like in my studio, my big Fantom, my Fantom EX stays in my desk because it's not marketing. It is the hub of my studio. So if I'm doing a gig and maybe I don't want to take my big Fantom, maybe I want to take the Fantom O or the Juno D or, you know, whichever one is Zen-Core compatible, I can make sure the sounds that I gravitate to are there. And so that's really helpful. And even like my Axe Edge, you know, I can design stuff in my Fantom or using Zenology Pro, export it and import it into my Keytar and just kind of have some fun with that.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's so game changing. It's so game changing. Like I even do that with, like, so I have the Jupiter XM, little baby. I took a picture of that, put it on my Instagram, and that's like my easy carry to church. I play a lot of colors. Here lately, I've been rocking hard with the XM and the Gaia 2, which is definitely starting to show up on me. John, I gotta repent, but I have the big Jupiter XM.
Take it.
No, the guy is cold. No, I got the guy. There's the guy right back there. You know,
dope.
since Ed want to show off all his keyboards, since Ed want to show off I got guy right
camera. Don't make me pan.
Forget both of y'all. But I got the big Jupiter X here, and when I want to design something, just like a layer, you know, then I'll do that in the X because it's easier because it's a bigger keyboard, more keys. I don't have to, you know, fight to get on these little keys. But also I can design on the big screen with the more detailed parameters in my Fantom, and it'll go cross-platform. Also, if you're one like me, shameless plug, that creates sound packs, you can create a sound pack that will go cross-platform. It'll go on the Roland Cloud. It'll go on all your Zen-Core keyboards. And I mean, you got it because the wavetables are what supports all of that stuff. So if you, I mean, you know, you do it, you got it right there. I'm just saying.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So Ed, there's a few things that I think are game changing features that I said this to you when we were out at NAMM, and I think when we was talking on the phone the other day, I said it like, I think, you know, and that's why I went there with the whole Nord Stage 3 is copying because that's the first thing that pops in people's mind, right? But I said that knowing cognicy, because being cognitive of the fact, having hands on it myself and played with it myself at NAMM and had conversations with you about it, that there are several things that sets this apart. A lot that we've already named before, from Zen-Core down to all of the access to all of the different things, but the in and out that is available on the V-Stage, I think sets it apart. And that's even before we even talk about the pricing difference, which is very significant, considering what Nord charges for their stage piano, their stage 4. So I think it's very, very competitively priced, but the bang for buck that you get for the in and out, even if we're not even talking about sounds, the fact that you can hook all of these different pedals to it. And then you mentioned something to me about MIDI controllers being able to use it because it's got 2 USB ports on. And I think the biggest game-changing thing is the ability to be able to split all of your sections via USB-C to multiple outputs. So the organ can be on its own channel. The piano can be on its own channel. The EP can be on its own channel. The two synths can be on their own channel. So I'm going to give you some space to really showcase that, because to me, apart from the sounds, apart from that, that was the thing that impressed me the most about the V-Stage. So I'm going to give you the floor, and I want you to walk us through those things that set this thing apart from all of the others.
So I just put up the, at NAMM, thank you guys. We were having such,
amazing
at NAMM,
time.
We were having, what is it? If you do something you love, you never really work. I was just having a ball, and with all the musicians out there, we were having fun. My boss is like, you need a break? I'm like, no, I'm having fun. So, all right, cool. So check it out. Let's start looking. What John was saying is on the outputs here. Of course, we have regular headphones out. Here's the balance output, which, a lot of companies at a certain price point don't give you this. The balance XLR outs, that's cool. You can go right into the Snake. You can go to direct boxes, whatever you want to do. Here's also the balanced quarter-inch outputs. That's cool. A lot of us do this. One thing I learned about from the gospel community I didn't realize is that a lot of cats go mono. I don't know how I feel about that.
Mono is
sometimes.
Sometimes. But to your point, let me jump in on that, because again, we've discussed these different points. Like when you talk about the grand scheme, a lot of us, of course, are in the situation where we have like multiple output stereo, things. Sheridan is blessed to be in a ministry that does that. But when you start talking about the everyday church musician, a lot of those setups, they don't have Avions, they don't have X32s, they got a Mackie board in the back of the church, and Deacon Jones turns it on 15 minutes before service, and it's set the way it was set before, and they're set up, and a lot of them aren't even running direct boxes. They're running into let's shout out Roland. They're running into a KC500 amplifier, and they're running a mono setup, and so. That's one of the biggest things with that I always, keep in mind when I'm, talking about these things.
100. And let me share this as a keyboard player to my other keyboard players. Make sure you know how to run a mixer. And sometimes, the volunteer, I think maybe at the church, some of the people that are running mixers, they're not really musicians like that. Show them where the stereo channels are, just as a keyboard player, because no matter which keyboard you buy, these are stereo instruments, and a lot of times have stereo effects, and so you're only playing half the sound. So if you can run in stereo, and maybe it's just a 5-minute conversation, and because I know I've been in situations, I'll tell them that they don't ever use those stereo channels on even the Mackies, and I tell them that's where the keyboard goes. So that's and I will tell you guys this: I love it that you're using KC amplifiers, but I will warn you, and this is just coming as a keyboard player to other keyboard players, the KC amplifier is never going to be as loud as a full sound system. Okay, so and the reason I say this is nothing against the KCs. I want to protect your ears, all you young musicians.
Come on, Doc.
I want to protect
Help
your
us,
ears,
brother.
because because all of us guys, as we age, you might hear a little piercing ringing in your ear, or you might not be able to hear something. So what I would suggest for you, and I'm thinking about doing a video on my channel about this, how to hook up, maybe get you a sub mixer. A little sub mixer. They don't cost much, and then you go out of your joints. I cannot recommend. Anyway.
We're talking to a Roland guy, buddy.
I don't know. Hey, we'll get the little Roland joint that they just.
No. I'm not. It's not even. It's not even
Go
about.
mixer.
It's not even
Get
about
the Go
that.
mixer.
I just can't support that. Anyway, so get you a mixer. Get you a Mackie. I don't care. Mackie's great. But what I suggest you do is get you a mixer, run your keyboard to there, and run the control room out to your KC. So it's at a nice, healthy, comfortable volume for you, and then send the main out to the front of the house, even if you go in mono. That way, you're protecting your ears, and you're getting a good sound. And when they're sound checking the band, turn your control room out off, so that way they're not influenced by your speaker. So just from your Uncle Ed to all you young guys,
Uncle Ed,
you're gonna blow out your ears, and I just want to protect you from that. So let's get back to our show. That was a little public PSA. For
yes, sir. So back to the stage.
Can I ask you something else about the stage that you pointed out on the outs? So you have
let's go to it.
the balanced out that are the XLRs. Now, don't those give you higher gain than your quarter outs?
I think they do. I think they give you a cleaner gain. The balance. I'm not a techie
Both
guy
end,
with
yep.
that kind of thing. But I've always been told if you balance is better. So
Yeah, for sure.
but
For sure.
I'm not that cat. But let me see. Where's my cursor? You guys.
That's the one
understand?
thing
All
that
right, here we go.
I've come to find with the boards. Even with the Fantom has it, the Jupiter 80 has it.
Yeah.
And when I have the option when it's clean power in the facility, because sometimes if it doesn't have clean power, and you hook up XLR outs on your actual keyboard, then it'll give you that buzz, and you don't have a ground lift switch anywhere on the keyboard to eliminate that. So you have to fight that problem. But if it has clean power and you have that XLR option, I tend to always go that route just because it gives you that higher gain and you have more control, especially with keyboards like this or keyboards like the V-Stage, since we're talking about that, to where you have multiple sections to where you can control the volume and gain on each section. And that gives you more flexibility too. My 2 cents.
100%. And so this is all the main outs section right here. That's all the main outs. But then, as Sheridan and John were saying, this is the sub outs. So we can go ahead and route any part of the V-Stage to here, be it the mic output, which is right here, the mic. We can do an XLR mic supporting dynamic microphones. Maybe we wanted to have a backing track from Ableton Live or from Logic coming out here. Maybe we have a bass sound that we wanted to kick out, and we wanted to go actually into a bass cabinet so we really get the bass, And then also right here we have 1/4-inch line input. So if you're kind of running another external instrument in through here, maybe another keyboard, maybe you have to do use this guy as sort of a mixer. You can, we've all been there. Like, okay, I've used my Fantom as a mixer for another keyboard just because it was an emergency situation. But this is cool. This is also 1/4-inch. So just this section is cool, and you get some really good inputs. Now let's go over here to this section. I'm going to start over here on this other side. We give you four pedal inputs. The one on the far left, this one is for damp. That's for damper. That's for sustain. That's its job, right? Mm-hmm. Now these other 3 control inputs, these change according to what you tell them to be per scene. So in my setup, I usually use control 1 to be it's my rotary speed on and off. But sometimes it's to change scenes. Sometimes it's to go forward. Sometimes to go backward. It could be tap tempo. And then on this one, the number 2, for me, it tends to be expression. It could be volume. It could be the wah, And I haven't hooked up this one, but I have some good choices, and I love that they change by scene if I tell them. Now I could set them system wide. I have a choice option of that, but different scenes, different sounds you pull up, you have different requirements. So it's nice that they can change accordingly. Let's go to this section. The good old boring MIDI in and out, right? You're like, I never use that, Ed. Well, let me tell you.
I use it every day.
You're missing it. You're missing it if you haven't used it.
Every day.
All you great players out there, get into this, okay? And you hear your 2 other guys here telling you. MIDI in's cool, but MIDI out 1, MIDI out 2, the V-Stage, as well as Fantoms, as well as Juno X, as well as Jupiter X, we have the ability to change your sounds per scene in all the Rolands. So whether you're using Kronos, Nord, whatever, doesn't matter. And this isn't a shade. This is just like real life. If you got a keyboard rig or 2 or more keyboards, you can go ahead and set the patches of those sounds in the Roland scenes. And when you change a scene, it'll send MIDI patch change messages to those other keyboards. So if your artist calls an audible or set list, you don't want to be you guys know how we're changing keyboard, changing sound on each song.
Yeah,
that gets tiring, and you're gonna make a mistake. This way, you just press the scene, boop, and all your keyboards change. The first time it's hard, the concept, you're just like, what? But after you do it, it's a aha, like, oh my God. It's it is a game-changing movement for keyboard players. So we'll probably cover this in future videos we have for V-Stage. It's a nerdy thing, but once you do it, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So it's cool. All right, let's go into the USB section. This is a very important, exciting section. like John was saying, you have your external USB ports here. Now these are for, your USB kind of keyboards that are just USB. They're just that's how they don't have MIDI outs. These newfangled ones. So
Not
you can go ahead. Newfangled, you know what I'm saying? So you can just plug in and it will power those keyboards. A lot of times it will power, depending on the power requirement. But you can go ahead and say, I have the V-Stage, but I want MIDI channel to live on this keyboard down here, and I want this other MIDI channel. So maybe I put the piano in my A88 Mark II. Maybe I put my secondary dual manual, my other manual, in another synth action keyboard, and I can have them all right there. This way, the new way with USB, or old school with MIDI. Let's check out this one. This port right here, USB-A. You can back up, and Sheridan had a question on one of the last streams I was watching. Mm-hmm. You can back up your keyboard. So if you rent a V-Stage, be it the V-Stage 76 or the 88, you can back up and then restore all of your settings to that rental V-Stage. This is really cool. Now, Sheridan asked me, I think we misunderstood each other at NAMM because it's fast and it's furious, you know what I mean? You can export scenes out of the V-Stage. You can. So if Sheridan has...
That's good information.
Some tones or some scenes, and, he's trying to share it with John, or maybe some of these scene packs he wants to probably make, you can share them that way. And we can take a quick peek at it later if you want. Now, the most exciting part is right here, this little USB-C. USB-C. And at NAMM, I was acting a fool, having a good time, and I'd say USB-C, which means it's USB audio compliant, which means you can plug it into your phone, and you can go ahead and go live on Instagram or whatever, or it just works in your iPad. It just works. We don't have to get what did you use back in the day, Mike? Like a powered USB hub? And, audio interface.
Yeah.
The 11 stacks on the MIDI keyboard.
Oh yeah. All of that. And then some.
So what do we do now? We just replaced it all with one USB-C cable.
That's
all in
perfect.
one shot.
So as you were saying, as you was telling me about it, I think this is the power play right here. I really want you to really explain deep about this, because this, of all the things, this was the thing that impressed me the most, because having USB-C is paramount first, because when you look at all of the other companies, no matter who it is, MIDI controllers included, they're still using the OG USB, B, I think it is, like big jack printer cable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the entire industry, like computer wise, had even Windows, Mac, all of that is switched to USB-C. You know what I mean? Yeah. So having USB-C on the back is just out the gate is a game changer, because now you're setting yourself up for the future compatibility, but it also just makes it simple. You know what I mean? But I like the fact that you were telling me that it's splitting out. I really want to hone in on this, because this is what really blew me away, was that it's splitting out all of the different sections. And the other question I have with that, if you can answer this for me, because I didn't get this clarity. If you're using Main Stage, or you're using Ableton, or you're using whatever, even, whatever live situation, can you split those audio signals out into different software as well? So if I'm using Ableton, if I'm using Main Stage, if I'm using any other kind of live host where I got all of my VST sounds in conjunction with my hardware sounds, and I got a whole setup, can I split can I split my organ into channel 3 and split my EP and my synths? Can I do that so I can have the utmost control via software and hardware?
The quick answer is yes. Now what John is asking about, that's big boy programming.
That's the nerdy stuff I care about.
Yeah,
I care about
the nerdy programming.
I care about that.
Yes, sir. I can't wait to talk about it.
No. And I say that because I've had guys that tell me, they're like, well, that's not intuitive. And I'm like, no, you're talking about big boy programming. The guys, that's why you get paid. You don't just play sounds. We're talking about controlling rigs and having V-Stage or Fantom change your V drums, change your digital other things. That's That's the next. That's that cat that goes on the tours and he has the computer and he's he runs the show basically. So let's get right in. Let's get right in. And let's get right into this. I'm gonna switch my screen. Check this out. So let's get right into that. I got something for you. So
show it to us, Ed.
Come on, Ed.
I'm excited. I'm excited. What is this? What is this?
We got
Ableton.
No, that's Ableton.
All right.
Ableton. Okay,
that's Ableton.
He changed his color scheme.
So check it out. I'm gonna go right over here, and like I said, hold on. I'm switching around a bunch of stuff. All right, so let's go here. The tail of the tape right there. All right, gentlemen. So I just went for you guys in our kind of new with this, or but you advanced guys, I went into my Ableton preferences right here, and I can see I'm using the V-Stage, and what does it say there? It says 18 in, 4 out.
Okay.
Over USB-C.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay.
Come on, man.
Take it. So right now, if we did the USB-C audio compliant, we get 2 in and 2 out, which is fine.
Right.
That's fine. But now if when you download the Roland driver, you get this. All right, let's take a close look at this. Okay, what does this mean, 18 in, 18 out? All right, so let's look at the output first. The output means I can route anything from Ableton to my main or my sub. So I think at NAMM we were talking about you guys have like a backing track, and I know Mike with the gospel backing tracks that you do.
Yeah.
If you're using Ableton, guys, you could route Mike's tracks to the sub out, so you have control over that, over the overall sound of the keyboard. That's
kind of wild.
Yeah, that's wild. So because it's just cool. It's just cool. So that's just the outs, and I just did the stereos because I don't really use monos with my keys. I don't. Anyway, but you can. Anyway, so you get that. All right, here, you ready, Sheridan? This is for you, baby. All right, so,
yeah, man.
Here for you. All right, so check it out. So stereo inputs. So this means we got our main input. The mains means 1 and 2 means anything that's going on in the keyboard is throwing it down as a stereo into input 1 and 2. So everything that's going on in the keyboard is going into the main. That's, if you want it, that's cool. Now, if we go into sub, maybe I'm running that backing track from something else, or whatever. I can record that sub out, too, in its own input. And we're going to do it in a second. And then maybe I want that organ separate. Look, it lives on 5 and 6. My V piano lives on 7 and 8. Separate. My EP, 9 and 10. Once again, this is audio over one USB-C. Next, we have synth A. It's on 11 and 12. Synth B. It's so much fun. 13, 14.
This is good.
And then say you got your phone hooked up, or you got whatever other input. Maybe you got an old school whatever synth, and you want to run it in through Ableton, and like, how do I run it in? Well, just run it in through your V-Stage, in through that 1/4-inch input that I showed you, and then now you got that. And then let's say you're recording your tracks, and I know some of you guys are you maybe going to sing along, or really what's going to happen, you're going to tell them, here comes the bridge, boom, here comes the chorus, boom. You could be recording that as well, whatever you want.
So you can run your talkback mic into that situation as well.
100.
That's cold.
Oh, okay. That's cold, right? Yeah, I'm Fantoms do 32. Yeah. I think it's 32, and in the so this is cool. This is becoming not new for Roland. This is becoming like, this is what we do, and that's something that some of our competition does not do yet. Okay, so and we do it cheaper. So check this out. Oh no, I didn't. I'm sorry.
You did it.
You did it. No one tell my mama. All right, here we go. Can't take it back. All right. Well, I'm just having fun. I love it. All right, cool. So here I got the session, and let's see. Look, there's the organ. Okay, cool. I'm gonna turn off and look. It's coming up number 1 and 2 because that's the main. It's coming up here. I'm gonna turn off the organ just from the top of the screen. Here's the piano. There it is. Cool. Here's the E piano. Cool. Here is synth 1 right here. Oops. There we go. Lot going on. Here we go. Synth 1 right there. And here is synth 2. Now check this out. Let's have some fun. I'm gonna flip it over to. I'm gonna go ahead and arm a lot of these tracks. Give me a second, because I got my keyboard, my QWERTY keyboard, in a weird spot. I'm gonna say let's arm all of these, right?
Mm-hmm.
And check this out. Let's see. All right. I don't have the mic hooked up, and let's hook up Midi. Don't forget, we can also record the Midi. So if you make any little flubs, or you want to, or maybe after we're done recording, Sheridan goes, I don't like that EP that you use. That's not the right EPs. For all you that don't know, that means I could take that Midi and say, let's try this sound. Let's try this sound.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I'm just trying to instruct our, the next gen. I want you guys to be.
No, this is
we can
solid.
set it up to. We can set it up for Midi to be plugged in, or a MKS20 to be plugged in via
100%.
Midi.
So
but we'll talk about that in a minute.
We will, and so I'm going to flip it over to linear, and let me get rid of this. We don't need any of this. All right, so I'll go ahead, and I'm going to turn on I'm going to turn on organ. I'm going to turn on the piano. I'm going to turn on both synths. Okay, both synths are on. Okay, we're just going to record. I'm not really concerned, gentlemen, about a particular song or anything. We're just kind of like
just for showing the case, proof of concept.
Okay, cool. So we got it going. I don't even care about that. So it's all recording. So I can just. All right, it's still recording. I'm going to turn off that synth. I'm going to turn off everything except the organ. Okay, now I'm going to turn the piano on. I'm going to turn off the organ. Now we got piano. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and turn on that electric piano and keep the piano on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and keep those guys on. I'm going to turn on that second synth. I think it's a string-oriented. Oh, I don't like that. Let's go ahead and turn off that EP. Just keep the piano and that synth. All right, let's go ahead and turn off. See, so check it out what we just did that fast. That fast.
That's wild. That's wild. So let me jump in for a sec. So this is why, to me, this is super dope, because you've been able to record with, no matter what situation, you can bring in all of the different sections into separate tracks. This is powerful to me because I'm thinking about like a couple of things. I'm thinking about live recordings, right? If you're a guy that does a lot of live recording, you're a live recording musician, and being able to have everything separate for recording, that means if I'm utilizing this board, because you have the USB plugs in, so that, and we got to get to that. The fact that you can plug in another board, another MIDI controller, have it over here. You could literally build an entire aux station, an entire mains plus aux station, because I could put two boards over here, two MIDI controllers, run my two synths, route them to that MIDI, right, to those two separate boards, right? I could do that. Correct, if I want to do that. So I can route two synths, a lead, a pad right here, and then I can have the V-Stage in the middle as mains, right? And then maybe I got another one or a top for organ or something. We daisy chain and we figure out how to route all of that stuff. This is how my mind is going. And then we're able to now, as a player, doing aux, doing mains, all of that, all of those things are being recorded to separate channels. In addition to the MIDI as well. So when I come back for post-production, and mixing, I can send my engineer all of those separated stems basically from that recording plus the MIDI, and that gives us much more versatility and power for post-production and for mixing. Because as a mix engineer as well, because that's another hat that I wear, that's one of the things that drives me crazy when I get to certain when I get certain recordings, is the fact that the piano and the pads and all of those things aren't separated. You know what I mean? Like I'll get a piano with the pad blended in, and I'm hitting the keyboard player up and I'm saying, hey man, can you send me just the keys dry or whatever? Do you guys have the MIDI? He's like, nah, bro, like that was how we recorded it. So to me, that's a game-changing feature right there. The fact that everything is separate. I got multiple in and outs. I got multiple channels to shift everything. I just think that's just GOAT. And then for the price point and all that, I just think that's GOAT. And I'm not if you guys follow me, you know me, I'm an everything boy. I'm not a fanboy of like you can see all of the stuff I got back here. I'm not gas on any company. I just think this is very interesting.
Let me just say, I don't think you need to apologize for liking Roland.
Of course you would say.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, that's dope. Yeah, I got what you're saying. Though.
I'm saying because historically, we've been there, and one of the mainstays of the gospel community is a Roland at MKS 20.
Yeah, staple.
All these years,
staple.
It's a staple. So don't all you young cats don't have to shoot, man. Come to the dark side. We have cookies. You know. So anyway,
man, listen, I'm just saying. Can I tag on his point after you can go ahead?
Go ahead.
Please tag.
No, go ahead, Sheridan. And I'm marking, and just so you guys know, so just so you guys know, I'm marking some comments and some questions that you guys have in the comments. I'm marking those. Please. So if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the comment because we're going to move to direct questions for Ed here in just a second. But I'm marking your questions. That's what I've been doing while these guys are talking.
Yeah.
So Ed brought about some good points, some good information regarding how that V-Stage works, how you can separate it in the production software in Ableton Live, all of that, and the outs. I mean that I don't think y'all understand how game changing that is. I actually did a session. Shout out to Mama Sue, Sue Roseberry, with my Fantom. Ed, I had to run stems for the session. We got sub outs on this baby. I'm a big nerd, so I hooked it up to my computer. And I had to play colors on the session. Well, I wanted to play my Fantom, but I had to monitor this, and I didn't want a bunch of junk on the stage. I'm about visual as well. So I ran the stems through my Fantom via USB in my sub outs. So they played out of the sub outs, and the live production I played, the live colors that I played were coming out of channel 1 and 2. The other thing that I found, and this is with the Fantom as well as the Jupiter X and XM. And I see that they have it on the V-Stage, so I know it does it. Just because Roland is like that. They make boards with great technology, and they matriculate that among their other boards. The technology that the V-Stage has with the USB-C, it also has that with this Fantom. It also has that with this Jupiter. It has it with the Gaia. You can plug the Gaia up to your phone with the power cable, and you can run the whole thing. It's crazy. But with those USB-A ports on the back, let's say you have a Midi board. I have a 32 key launch key or 37 key launch key that I use. And if I'm playing, and I think John kind of made this point earlier, if I'm just playing something that's within the parameters of those 37 keys on organ, but I need to play my stage and I don't want it to mix and it's just a hit on organ, then I can run that USB from the USB-B to the USB-A in the V-Stage. Not only will it power the MIDI board, but it'll play that organ part, and you can use the drawbars for that if you have it on the right MIDI channel. And you can set that up. So you set up one station is MIDI channel 1, one station is MIDI channel 2, so on and so forth. So you have how many USB-A ports on the back of that too? So you can literally have 3 keyboards controlling the one keyboard, and even have the sub outs to play the different instruments as well. So essentially have 3 keyboards in one. It's crazy. How could you not love Roland, dude? Well, I'm just saying.
Let me shout out to Mike on this, because he's the one I first saw this back in the day. You could get a powered USB hub and plug into there, and then go a power USB and take more USBs into that one USB-A. So
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
I plug 20 keyboards up to my Roland V-Stage, and here's what happened. Y'all get ready for that video. Get ready for that video.
That's funny. Well, and we didn't even talk about the MIDI, the multiple MIDI outs. I'm just saying. Yeah. So when you talk about like competitors, there's no competition with that, because you can't really compete with that. That's game changing.
That's game changing.
And you guys are, you two gentlemen are very advanced, and I know we're trying to get the other cats, like, this is stuff that you can use. What John was saying, how he could go ahead, and Sheridan was saying, you could go ahead and have Ableton Live like a backing track, playing Ableton for the service, and you could be recording what you're playing, so you get that live feel. and no one would even know you're recording. You know, I don't know if cats really understand that. You could record the whole show you could be recording to Ableton in the background while you're performing, and then while you're switching scenes, because that's not affecting what's going on over there. So you could use all that, and the whole time, the V-Stage, the MIDI channel part is recording all the MIDI.
That's
so,
crazy
you know,
to me.
It's just
crazy.
Yeah, this is stuff at at NAMM and thank you guys for videoing at NAMM where we had some great players on the stage. FYI for all you guys that get on the stage with me at NAMM, if you get on the stage with me, I'm not just gonna let you play. I'm gonna put you to work. You know, that's why I was like, well, shoot, that's why on some of those cats, killer players. But I was like, well, shoot, I'm gonna use you to do my demo because I'm tired. So
I don't think people appreciate that enough. I don't think people appreciate that enough because you're there from open of the show until they walk off the stage, and you're literally regurgitating the same information over and over and over. You have ways of mixing it up and making it fun, and I'm the same way. I've presented. I've had a booth at NAMM before, so I know what it's like. So when every person comes up, you have to treat them as if this is the brand new person. They've never seen you before. They've never heard the pitch before. They've never seen this board before. So you got to start them from jump and walk them through the process. And you do that 8 hours a day for 4 days straight. You know what I mean? And you're doing everything you do. So I just shout out to you for, man. You've been holding Roland down in that area for like years, man, at NAMM, and it's always cool to see you out there.
Thank you, and I love it. Thank you, and I love it with all the young players that are just little monsters. I love it. But
little monsters is wild.
Don't take that wrong.
No. That's a good thing.
Excuse my Generation X.
No.
What I say.
No, but because when you said that, I thought about the movie. I thought about the movie Little Monsters. Y'all remember that movie?
Oh,
that's what I thought about when you said that.
Now you're going on the.
We're showing our age. We're showing our age on that. Little Monsters was a good movie.
Y'all are showing y'all age. I'm very young.
No, whatever with all that gray in your beard.
Okay, for all of you, for musicians, technically, when you call someone a monster, that's a compliment. Okay, so no one from HR call me.
Just like the stink face.
Anyway,
exactly.
Right.
So Ed, I want to throw some of the. Oh, go ahead. Say what you got to say, and then I want to throw some of these community questions at you.
What I was gonna say, because you said regurgitating, and I get that, but there was so much I was trying to just impart, but then like this that I just showed you, I just didn't have time. I just didn't have time because this whole section with the whole USB, audio, MIDI, all this stuff,
it's game changer.
That's a whole other. Go get lunch and come back. Now we'll go do that. That's a whole other thing. So for me, when I present and in like an instrument like the V-Stage, I have to kind of like keep it together because I want to show you as much as I can. Like check this out because I'm so excited. So and I hope that comes across because it's not fake. If you guys know me and we've spoken. I really love what I do, and I love the keyboards that we present. It's just good stuff. All right, I just had to say that because there's just so much I want. There's so much. Well, hey, old school movie. See if you can remember this. There was so much we want to show you from the Pinhead. Remember that scary movie?
That might be a little
horror movie.
That's a little bit before me then. That's 80s, isn't it?
Yeah. That's past my time.
Okay, never mind.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No. Okay, so I got some community questions. I've been kind of marking some. I'm pretty sure there's some others since I marked, but there's some ones from way back and some one there. But we want to get some of these community questions because again, we're pressing Roland about these things concerning the V-Stage. So I got my guy Ben Allen here, and let me move this up so it could be read on the screen. We'll just put it right here. He said, let's ask Ed about those drawbars not sending MIDI CC. I saw some comments about that, and I think from what I read, what he was talking, they were having a discussion in the comment section about the being able to utilize basically the MIDI functions, using the V-Stage as a MIDI controller, and being able to have the drawbars send MIDI CC to control maybe a virtual organ like a UAD Waterfall or a Logic B3 or whatever. Now, is the V-Stage capable of sending over that information. If I have I'm not totally impressed with the Roland organ. It's an acquired taste. All organs, all clone wheels are an acquired taste. But let's just say that somebody wants to bypass the organ and they want to use the V-Stage for the sounds and the synths, but they want to actually use it as a controller to control the like another organ software or whatever in MainStage or whatever. Is that possible, and how is that accomplished?
Yes, I just dropped you. I wasn't ignoring you. I asked one of my guys, Scott Berry, shout out to my brother over there. You can do that with Roland's. It's a system exclusive for the Drawbars. And
okay, let me put that up. I'm going to put that on the screen. Give me a second. I got it. I just got it. Let me grab from iMessage real quick when you get it, and we'll put it. I can literally just take this, and we can just drag it in here, and then I can just resize it. And we can put it up. So this is the System X messages. Yeah.
We may not be able to receive CC, but it should send and receive sysx. Okay, so it can do that, and that's something that we've always kind of been able to do. We will definitely. One thing about Roland that we've been able to do in this last couple of years with the whole, unfortunately with the pandemic, we communicate a lot better with each other, with the engineers and my other brothers and sisters from the synth side, our synth engineering team. So maybe that might be something we can work on, but this is how we've always kind of done it on that side.
And so now sysx, of course, for those who don't know, is a little different in terms of MIDI CC. So it can receive. So I know that's a lot of work. I've messed around with sysx, scratched my head at it, and was just like, nah, I'm just gonna move on to something else. So I know there's a lot of difficulty with this. So maybe we can put a pin on that, and then maybe I can do a video. We can figure it out, and or you can do something on your own channel showing how somebody could utilize sysx in a more streamlined way to be able to do that, because MIDI CC is just the easy, it's just set it and forget it type situation. But sysx is just like a whole another monster in of itself. So I think that's a good situation to kind of do. A lot of chatter from all of my gospel fanatics here. They want to know if the MKS20 is in the V-Stage.
Dum dum dum.
Dun, dun.
And if not, why?
That was coming. The MKS, a lot of those sounds are inside the RD2000, just FYI.
They are.
They are, but, at Roland we call them the RD1000.
Yeah.
But even though RD1000 MKS20 was the rack version, but I know we've had internal conversation. We have internal conversation, us guys from the U.S. are like, don't call it RD1000. Call it MKS20, because a lot of the cats don't know RD1000. Anyway, let me show you. Dun, dun, dun. All right, cool. So
let me bring you up here.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I just made a new scene because from the
fact that you got this set up to where you can just pull that up that quick is kind of crazy. I just had to say that, but go ahead.
I mean, that sounds like the pot calling the kettle black. I'm just.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Go ahead.
One day when I go to your pad, you and I are going to have a lot of talking about cameras and stuff. A whole different podcast. Anyway, so check it out. So in here, the MKS20 sounds are in the electric piano section, okay? So the MKS20 is actually our SAEP, okay? That's where that is. That's where that is. And if you look in the, and I think I was talking to John Mike, and we were, I was looking at the actual manual for the MKS20 and just kind of just going, like I said, I like history. So I was going in there and I was looking in here, and then I was talking to some of my other Roland cats out there in the other countries. Shout out to Ludwig. And we were saying, here's a lot of the the EPs from the MKS20 right here. And then we were talking like, well, the one we were kind of saying might be the one is this one. Let me turn it on. Is I? Oh, let me see. Turn off that organ. And that one has more of that chorus. So that might be the one. So they are in there. And
which one is that one? That's SA piano.
The EP2.
Oh, the EP2. Okay.
Now, what, because like John, I know we were talking about it, and I think even Sebastian Wheat, we were talking about this. since there was only 64 sounds in the MKS20, what are the sounds? That might be a cool thing. Like,
Yeah.
what are the sounds? Where do they live? Because we could easily put.
Go, yeah,
that might be a good.
So Sheridan
Let me
can speak
answer that
on
question.
that.
Let me answer that question. So that SA E-Piano 2 is close. It's not there. The E-Piano or the RD1000 synth engine or sound engine that's in the RD2000 is good, but it's still, I think, misses on the chorus side. So I'm gonna play for y'all something that was sampled, and this is in my Fantom, and just for the sake of the conversation we just had, I have this hooked up to I'm playing my RD800 via USB into the USB port of my Fantom. So, and the V-Stage will do the exact same thing, just for y'all nerds like me out there.
Yeah, we can hear that.
So it's a thicker sound. The chorus is completely different. It's heavier, and this is because it's straight sampled. So I think what everybody is looking for is not only that E-Piano 2, but the Piano 1. I promise you, if y'all get those two sounds in there, the E-Piano 2 and the Piano 1 with the chorus option, and I think Roland does a good job with their chorus as long as it doesn't thin out the sound. Then, and I mean, it's y'all's technology, so you can actually just sample the old unit and put that in your, however you do your coding for your boards, and make that the sound. And just have it as an update on the Roland Cloud. And somebody asked this, which I'm not trying to take your job, John, but somebody
go for
asked
it.
this in the comments, and it's been asked so many times before, why doesn't Roland, who owns the rights to the MKS20, to the RD1000, and to the P330. How you doing there, baby? She's right there. She's right there hanging out. Why don't we have those virtual sounds in the Roland Cloud? We got what is it? The XV5050?
XV50. No, XV2080. In the
2080, is that the one?
Yeah, that's the one that's on.
Whichever one is on there. Okay, 2080. That's sitting right up under the P330. So we have that in there. Phenomenal sound engine. We got to get that P330, and we have to get that MKS20, and they can make those as expansions for this V-Stage. I promise you, mark my words, y'all can echo me in the comments. If you guys do that, these V-Stages will fly off the stage. I mean, off the shelves, and they will be on everybody's stage. And it's a simple process. If y'all need some help, holler at your boy. I'm a veteran in the Roland game. I'm not trying to take your job, Ed. I'm not trying to take your job.
We just want the product to be good.
I'm just saying.
But
if y'all
like
do that.
To Sheridan's point, remember Ed, we was talking the other day, and I was telling you like about that same thing that Sheridan was saying, is that's what especially the gospel community is looking for. When if you really want to capture that community, and I know Roland is privy, may check out this video and be able to see, as we're talking as our community, every just about gospel cat that I know, when they buy, they're buying the Chronos, and they're buying the Yamaha, and they're buying the Nord, they're buying insert board here, and they are taking the Roland sounds, the MKS2, EP2, the Piano 2, the piano, and they're just putting it in their boards. And every cat, whenever I talk to a guy anybody that's got a non-rolling board, and they're like, yo, yeah, I just got the stage 4. Yeah, man, I just loaded my MKS stuff in here, man. And they're bragging about it. I just bought the M6.
They're bragging about it, John.
I just put J-Pop in here, man. And it's like, you see what I'm saying? So I think that's the big cry. Now I got a lot. That answers like 6 questions that I already had in the comment section that all were centered around, and that's a big thing that we're looking for and that we're wanting. So I don't know, like Sheridan said, if it could be an update or whatever. Or we partner together to make it happen,
Come on, man. We can make it happen.
Who this? No, I'm just playing. Roland is listening. Roland is watching this. So,
hey, Roland.
Roland is aware. Hey, Roland is there. So, and I'm pretty sure some of my colleagues from Japan are watching. So,
wow,
this is great to hear the community outpouring and what you want, because now we can take what we're going to learn, what we've learning on this live stream. And the great thing, you mentioned some of the particular sounds that you wanted from there,
Exactly.
and then you mentioned the chorus you want. So, that's part of it, because you got to. I think everybody has to think, when we design a keyboard, we're designing for the world. And so
Right.
we're trying to get
Definitely.
all these different things. So this is the way we communicate now through these streams in real time and real time questions is so much better. So
Definitely.
there's probably later, probably tomorrow, I'll probably be in meetings like, we're gonna dissect.
Let's get this.
Let's
Let's get this. Ed, let's get this MKS in here.
Get this going. Yeah, and
Let's
and
get
you
it
know
going.
what?
Hashtag MKS20 EP.
Okay, that's cool. And the great thing is I'm not going to be the one doing the sounds, because that is not my, we try and get the right people that know, you know what I mean, and do their homework. So I'm really excited. So tell me, Sharon or John, what are the? I think you already said it. I'll go look back, but
Yeah.
Okay, how about
No,
this?
I'll
In
give
the
them to you
chat,
again.
What are the ones that you guys want?
I'll
Put
give
that
them
in
to you
there, put it in
again.
the
It's
chat.
it's
Yeah,
super
yeah.
easy. For MKS20, it's the E Piano 2 and Piano 1. This is E Piano 2 right here. That's E Piano 1. I mean E Piano 2. And hold on, let me get this Piano 1. I think I got it in.
So y'all put it in the comments too,
Yeah.
because that's cool. Because we go back and we look at the comments and we're like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably end up making a spreadsheet and see how many, which are the ones. Yeah, please do.
Yes, that's it. And it's a little low, but that's the sound.
Yeah.
And yeah, and like
And
I
it
said,
almost sounds like what is that number?
it's just those are the ones. I mean, I think if you get those two, those are a lot of the ones that in the gospel community what we're looking for and what we're pulling in for. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's a solid, and the fact that we know that you guys listen. So I love that about Roland, and Roland has definitely been like a staple. I mean, like I said, I got 6 Roland boards over here right now, as well as Sheridan. So it's just we love Roland, and it's like being able to have
10.
Oh, good. We're gonna get you out of here. But yeah, so
No, I'm saying I have about 10.
oh, you got 10 roll. I thought you said you had 10 minutes. I was like, oh, we're about to get you out of here, then, Cheese.
No,
I'm good.
Okay.
No, it's all. I'm good. So let me say this. Roland listens, and then you guys know me, right? I've been doing it a long time. Do you know your other guy from whatever other company? That's all I'm saying. That's all. Anyway,
that's a good point.
Shots
Very good
fired.
points.
No.
No, that's
So-
fact.
so,
And I will say, and I'll
so-
say this on the live, Ed, because you drive home a good point there, buddy. One thing that has boosted a lot of other companies is the faces that they have behind these products.
Exactly. Point blank. Period. I definitely agree with that. So to move from MKS 20, let's keep moving. Let's make sure I'm getting everything on the questions, because I know that's the hill. That is the hill that we will die on. Like as musicians, guys, especially the church,
Okay.
we will die on that hill about MK sensation. MK, I'm about to call it MK sensation. Shout out to Jamal.
MK Sensation, no, I know.
MKS.
No, we want the real thing. No shade
Let's
to
see.
Jamal. We
Bill
want the real
said
thing.
didn't know about the in and outs. Let me see, what was those questions? Gustav says, unfortunately in Sweden, there's almost no price difference between the Non-Stage 4 and the V-Stage. So that's a good point to know for our overseas. So I know we probably are paying the import taxes, and that's probably one of the reasons why the Stage 4 is as high as it is over here. But he's saying overseas, they're pretty much the same price. Ben said he just gained a lot of respect for Ed for that comment. Let's see. Okay, here's one that you'll love. This guy says, I think the biggest problem of the V-Stage is the piano sound. You want to kind of speak to that, Ed? Because I know V-piano is like a big thing with it, and you were explaining to me the intricacies of V-piano. You know what I mean, and how it is. And I told you that a lot of us just don't like the program. It has to, when you sit down, it has to feel good. It has to play good. I think some of the piano sounds are pretty decent, and to get to get you through a situation. But again, I know a lot of guys are kind of on the V piano kick.
Yeah. Okay. Let me. I learned something really good at NAMM. I guess I play, but I also enjoy, probably like John and Sheridan. I'm kind of a nerd, and I like to go into the programming side.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I learned from John and a lot of you guys out there. I'm like, y'all just want it. Like my example, I was saying, with the V-Stage in a lot of our stuff, we're giving you the roux. So go ahead and make the gumbo however you want. You got the basic roux, all the ingredients.
Yeah.
But then Mike put it. I think it was you, Mike, that said, Ed, we don't want that. We want the fast food. We want it already done. So I was just kind of blown away like that. I was like, oh, okay. So that and we could easily sample pianos. We've done sampling for many years. That's not the issue. But I think on the V piano, that's modeling. Roland's evolving and trying to give you modeling, so that way you could actually go into the components. Now, but then going back to what I learned, maybe not everybody wants to go into the components. So maybe it's just a matter of like, what is the piano? Because piano is so subjective,
Yeah.
We were talking like at NAMM. I just took the V piano that was on top, whatever sound it was. I don't even know because I just used what was on top. And we were doing like a stereo width and adjusting the stereo width of the sound and also the brightness of the piano just with two knobs and just kind of dialing it in. And then, and then we were showing. Let me show you. Let me show you a little bit.
Okay.
All this talky talk. Check it out. So on the V piano, it's very, very cool. And like I said, once again, I just turn on the piano part. That's cool. And this one just happens to be on a felt upright, okay? And for me, I like going in and saying, you know what? I want to adjust the lid. I want to adjust the string resonance, And a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, going in and adjust the key off resonance, the cabinet resonance, even the damp. Like, I don't know if you can hear it. If you're having headphones to listen to this, you could actually hear.
I can hear that.
When I press the sustain pedal, just the damper pedal. And I can even go, I can even go on the key off noise when I let off the key. Listen, I'm going to let off. You actually hear the key kind of reset. So I get it, So for me, I'm over here like, this is cool, and then how we're changing the individual tuning. But I get it that maybe some of the cats are like, they just want the sounds, and I think that's fine. That's totally fine. You just want the sound, but I got to tell you, it is fun to go in there and find a sound that it might be similar to what you want. But then for me, it's fun to go in there. But maybe our lesson that we're going to probably take away from NAMM and from doing this session is maybe we'll get with some of the gospel-oriented players and just like, okay,
I'm ready.
Yeah, I know. Let's dial in the sound. Let's dial it in. You know what I mean? So
my sentiments exactly.
So it's not that we can't do it. We, like I just showed you. Just by doing Piano Designer, I can get into the components of the components that make up the piano, not the sample, the components of the piano. So that would just be a matter of like John's like, okay, I want the lid fully open, I want it closed, I want and that guys like us to kind of enjoy it. But I take someone like John, Mike, or Sheridan that says, okay, this is the sound I want. Let's dial it in, and then boom, we got it, and then we just write that sound. You know what I mean? So I think so. So for me, the V piano engine is. I get what you're saying. It's like, even though I'm giving you all the ingredients to really fine tune and customize your piano, I get it that a lot of cats just want it already served up. They already want that served up. And that's I don't think that's hard. Yeah, we could do that,
So why don't we do?
And
I'm sorry,
can it be done?
Ahead.
Yeah, can it be done? Yeah, because even with things like Roland Cloud, we could go ahead and make the instruments, and you make them probably downloadable as different sound packs or different things like that. Yeah, we could do that. So that's another conversation that we'll have internally. It's like, oh, okay, we brought you the grocery cart with all the ingredients, but you're like,
Yeah.
Ed, I don't want to cook.
Yeah.
I just want to.
Some people just don't want to cook. And like I said in the last stream,
Yeah.
you know, we're a lot of us are players, not programmers. And so they want to be able to do that. Okay, so I got some really good utility direct questions that I think are really good here. Like I got this one from Tony.
Can I say something at the tail end of that real quick?
Go ahead real quick. And then
my comment, I probably said it before, I'm gonna say it just one more time. So hit up, if y'all want to touch the gospel community, hit up the gospel community for some of their players, because again, that's what the competitors are doing. That one competitor has that formula down pat. I'm just saying. And I'll just say, I'll call it out. Nord has that down pat. They have some of the greats, some of the gospel greats, young and older. And they're in even with different genres. So holler at us, come get us. And it's no slight to anybody who is currently a Roland artist. I think some of those people need to come out front. Get your man's back. Get Marcus Hodge is killing the game in R&B and gospel, and is a diehard Roland fan.
What I can share is we are planning on going on the road with this. So we're planning. We're working right now. It isn't solidified yet because there's a lot of, any of you that do tours, you understand. It's like there's a lot of planning. So I'll probably be coming out to Charlotte. We're going to probably go out to Wheaton, Maryland. We're going to probably go out to Chicago, Atlanta, Nashville, Philly,
let's go.
New York. So
New York,
we're going to be coming out. New York. Go see Sebastian, and so I think when we come out, the community, y'all come out. Let's talk. Let's chat. Let's cook.
You didn't say Kentucky. I'm not offended. Cool.
Oh, well, I didn't know. So now I know. Now I know. So, but yeah, that's the thing. We're trying to find all these hubs, and of course, L.A. We'll do got our people in L.A. But yeah, I think we're going to do that a lot with this keyboard. And so it'll be me a lot of times, and we'll get some artists coming out. But, use me as one of your instruments. Ed, how do I get this sound? And we'll sit down and we'll figure it out.
That's so good.
Because I'm, like I tell some of our Roland sales guys, and I'm your nerd, a product guy. We're like your nerd. What do you want to accomplish? All right, cool. Let's make it happen. We can do it.
So my guy Tony, he says, by the way, if I wanted to export a synth sound from the V-Stage to something like the Juno D, would I be able to do that?
Sheridan, can he do that, Sheridan?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Oh, you missed the question.
Okay.
If I wanted to export a synth sound from the V-Stage to something like a Juno D, would I be able to do that?
So that was corrected according to Ed's information today. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
But it would need to be the Zen-Core platform, because that's the one that's cross platform. You can, all they most recent keyboards got that Zen-Core on it, and Roland Cloud has that too. And I've tested that out myself, and it is legit.
So the quick answer is yes, we can. So we could go into the memory and look at this. We can export and import. So we can export different things. I don't have a USB in here right now, but we can import and export. So yes, any synth, any Roland synth, Zen-Core compatible synth, yes, you can go ahead and export, import from Fantom, Fantom EX, Juno D, Fantom O, Axe, Eds, a lot of them. A lot of different things you can do that to the V-Stage.
Super dope.
The answer is yes. And for those of you that have Fantoms and some of the other Rolands, we do have on YouTube a channel called Roland Product Support, which where me and some of the other guys will go in there and we'll actually dig into little pieces of each of these synths and kind of show you. And we start off kind of basic first because we don't want to show you the big boy programming, because that can be scary at first. But we'll start off and we'll show you how to access different things. And there's a lot of stuff. Like I know on the Fantom, we have like 66 videos, and I could easily do over 100 on the Fantom.
That's so crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I don't recall another manufacturer doing that. what I name? That's all
I'm
saying.
just saying,
Anyway,
man.
go
They
ahead.
hide their wave
I'm just
tables,
saying.
Ed. They hide their wave tables. Like, what is that? That's stupid. What did R.
That's
Kelly
all.
say?
Yeah.
That's
All right, go ahead.
stupid.
Hit
So
me.
next question comes from my guy Ira. Shout out to my guy. I call him Killer. This was it's an inside joke between me and him. He said, can you connect organ foot pedals to the V-Stage?
Yeah. How do we normally connect organ foot pedals to
Via MIDI.
Keyboard?
Via
MIDI. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. There you go.
Via MIDI.
So the answer
Go.
is yes with the MIDI in. Yeah, you can do that.
Definitely dope.
Yes, you
Okay, Chad Bull says
And the
what-
specifics
Oh,
on
go
that
ahead.
real quick are generally when you do a dual manual organ, channel 1 is top, channel 2 is bottom, and channel 3 are the pedals.
It's pedals. Yep.
So
And
Yes.
that's the same thing for the V-Stage. So yes to all
Awesome.
of that. Yes.
Chad Bull says, what's up, Ed? Can you daisy chain 2 V-Stage and both boards change parameters when you change scenes? There's a nerdy question for you. Daisy chaining 2
Okay.
V-Stages. And they both controlling each other. They both talking to each other. Is that possible?
Yes, I don't know why you would do it, but okay, yes, you could.
My man said he wants the 88 on the bottom, and he wants a 76
All
on the
right.
top, and he wants them both to talk to each other. You can do that.
yeah,
Yes,
man.
yes.
The only
So-
reason why I
so-
would think of that is dual organs.
Yeah.
No, I like his attitude with you can have 88 and stuff with that, and then the 76. Yes, on a lot of the Rolands, Fantoms, and V stages, usually scenes are controlled on MIDI channel 16. MIDI channel 16 will control scenes. So you can go in. Let me see here. I'll show you. Super quick. All right, cool. So I can go in here, and I could say, all right, let's go ahead real fast, and I'll go ahead and just pick a scene. It doesn't even matter. Let's do just synth B. All right, cool. I'll go into here. I'll go into the edit. I'm going to move over. And I could do it in any one because any of these different parts of the V piano can be any MIDI channel you want them to be at any time. So here you go. External out. And it says, okay, where are we going? Are we going to the all, out 1, out 2, or just USB? So we can send multiple MIDI channels to multiple outputs. And then we could say, well, what are we transmitting to? Well, I'm going to MIDI channel 16 of that other keyboard. And then we just put in MSB, LSB, and program shapes. Quick lesson that I learned from one of my old Roland buddies back in the day. It's real easy for you guys to remember. MSB, that is the subdivision. That's the neighborhood where that sound lives. That's the neighborhood. MSB, most significant bit. LSB, that is the street that sound lives on. That's the street in the neighborhood that sound lives on. And program change, that's the house number.
Yeah, he just gave y'all a master class real quick. Y'all need to write that down.
Yeah, so MSB
That's
is the
good
neighborhood.
information.
LSB is the street in the neighborhood. Program change, that's the house. And so yeah, that's one of my homies. Shout out Silky T. So just real quick, it's so long story short, yes, if you want to have the V-Stage 76, change the 88, just MIDI out to MIDI in, or vice versa, MIDI out, MIDI in, and do it on MIDI channel 16.
Super dope. Another question from Ira. He says, can I turn off the internal organ and use the drawbars and foot pedal to control my organ VST then?
Yes. Now, we were talking about, I think Sheridan said it, usually it's MIDI channel 1, upper, 2, lower, 3, pedal. So inside, let me switch back over. John, throw me full screen real quick, please, sir.
Yep.
So
Gotcha.
boom. Okay, cool. So and right here on all of the different engines of the V-Stage, you have the on and off button. On and off button right here. Okay. So check this out. If I hold right now when it's red, that means it's sending internal messages, MIDI messages to the internal engine and the external. Well, you don't want the internal engine. So check this out. I'll press and hold the shift button right here, shift. I press it one time. Now it's only sending, it's yellow, it's only sending to the internal. Well, I still don't want that, Ed. No problem. Shift. Now it's going outside to the blue skies. It's sending out external. So yes, you can. And you could save that per scene. So you could have a scene that has internal, external, internal, external. Yeah. So anytime you want to go ahead and send those channels in or out, red sends MIDI messages internal and external. Yellow is internal only. And blue is, think of outside, look at the blue skies, is sending those MIDI messages outside. And that could be via USB or MIDI out 1 or MIDI out 2.
And Ed, I got to point out the fact that when you deal with the competitors, and I'm talking about more than just Nord, they don't do that. I mean, you can send the MIDI messaging, but you have to turn those engines off completely, and you don't get the benefit of having those LEDs letting you know where you are and all of that. So, shout out to Roland for thinking of that to make that to where multi-layer to where you can do both or single. External, internal. That's dope.
And this is something that when I'll work with some of the touring keyboardists that are out there, the MSB, LSB program change internal, external. We'll kind of work on this until the guys kind of like get it, and it's just a game changer for the guys. So they can, they're doing these rigs in these big arenas. They can easily jump around between computer and keys, internal, other keyboards. And I got to tell you guys, get on it, because like I heard Mike John in Sheridan, I heard you guys getting real nerdy with me when we showed Ableton. Guys, get into that. That's how you're going to separate yourself. Yeah, that's really cool.
That's super dope. Okay, I got a couple more questions here. This one is kind of unrelated to I think it's unrelated to the V-Stage, but it's more of a Roland question. Maybe I'm pretty sure it's an update, but 88 Mo Keys. He wants to know, when will MIDI 2.0 be added to Roland workstations? Any clue on that?
I don't have any clue on that.
Okay.
I know we have it on some of the products.
Yeah.
It's
on my Roland A88. I have it on my A88. I haven't experimented with it yet, but I know that it's available on that particular board. But I think I guess he's thinking about the Fantoms and all of that, which that would have to require new hardware, I would assume. That couldn't be necessarily software.
No, I don't think it's new hardware. I think it's just software, because all it particularly does, from what I understand, is it's more layers of messaging.
Yeah, you get more, and then the MPE stuff and all of that kind of stuff that they got going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just think of it as like giving you more MIDI resolution. So that's how I would kind of.
I like that.
We're working on stuff, and I know you see it in some of the keyboards. So once you see it in a couple, it just takes a minute. There's a lot of code, man.
Yeah, software is a thing. Josh Riggins says, how many EPs?
What's up, Josh?
He says, how many EPs? Lord have mercy. And Josh is also a GOAT. He's one of the ones you definitely want to be working with him with this kind of stuff. How many EPs can you layer on the V-Stage? Because I know you can layer two synths, but how many can you layer multiple EPs?
There's a particular EP engine, so so technically you can only have one. However, since we do have the Zen-Core technology, we could go ahead and take EPs from the Zen-Core engine and load them into the synth section, and so technically you could load 3 EPs, one that's dedicated from the EP engine, and then maybe 2 others from the Zen-Core. I'm just taking a peek. Yeah. Check it. Let me just flip over so you guys can see. So I just hit the synthesizer section, and I brought up the screen, and it's I go into the key section, and there's a bunch of other keys here, and there's different pop piano. Look, here's the MK80. Look.
MK80.
Let's see. It's just like, So you can have different pianos from that. So here's electric grands, and back to what we've been saying, the Zen-Core engine, you could go ahead and you could layer 3 technically. You could layer
good.
3. Yeah.
That's really good, man. That's really good.
And when we get that MKS in there, it's gonna change the game. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Cool. All right. I think I got this. Man, these guys have been lighting us up in the comments. There's 480 comments across all of the
Bring it.
social, and we've got over
Bring it.
200 people watching us live. This is amazing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Hi,
amazing. Hi, everybody. I think it got up to like 300 and something at one point. I saw it was really, really cool.
That's
Saints
because
are in the building.
I told my YouTube channel. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, man. Now y'all need to follow. You definitely need
Ed
to
is
follow
bringing us
Ed.
clout.
He is. You definitely need to follow Ed because you got about like 70K or something like that on.
Yeah,
on,
about 70.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Y'all follow him.
That channel. I'm trying to get more in that channel in 2025.
Likewise,
but I
over
do
here.
a lot of things. I want that plaque, Mike. I want that
I
plaque.
mean, likewise, I'm 40K from it. Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully, when I get off this stream, I got 1,000 new subs from this one stream.
Yeah,
That would be
everybody-
awesome.
everybody
Meanwhile,
sub.
I'm
Everybody
small
sub.
fish in this big pond.
Sub to our channels.
Sub to us.
So
Subscribe.
so.
Help us get in there.
Oh,
But no.
that's my trade. All right, yeah.
But either way,
what was the
I got it.
question?
I can't remember. Okay, I just got it. One.
No.
So one guy said, in that same vein with loading different EPs and stuff in, he says, can you load other sounds from other boards? Example, M1 piano from Korg. So that's like sampling things. So there's not a sample. Can you sample into it? Is there a sampler?
No.
Okay, that's what
No,
I thought so.
No. Now, Fantom.
Why would you want the M1 piano though? I'm just
Hey.
saying. I'm hating.
No.
Hey.
Don't hate every.
Let me not
keyboard
be a
has
hater.
certain
All
thing, you know.
all keyboard lives matter. Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
But no, so no sample engine that's in there.
No, we kept this one very specific because when you put sampling in there, it opens up another can of worms. You know what I mean? It's a
different.
whole thing.
I can see that. So I got one more
Yeah.
pressing question that I want to ask you, and it's not even a crazy question. It's really more so
Yeah.
of utility, and I think I already know the answer. But I've been asked this question multiple times. So V-Stage 88 is what? What's the pricing on that? $39.99.
I believe so. Yes.
$39.99. I
Check
think
your
we're right at
local
40.
dealers. Yeah, but I
Right at that space. And then Roland Fantom 8 is like if I was buying a Fantom 8 right now, it's what's the price? Let me Google it real quick. Roland
Google it
Fantom
real quick.
Fantom 8 EX, if I'm getting the EX. 36. I'm looking at a third one, 36.90. I'm looking at $41.99 from
that sounds
Sweetwater right now. $41.99. That's somebody's got it on sale somewhere. $41.99. All right, those two things are options on the table.
Okay.
Because you're getting the same Zen-Core engine, you're getting the V piano, you're getting the organ. Of course, the Fantom 8 has a sequencer and a buttload of other features, sampling, and all of those other things that come on with it. But I'm just a player, I'm just a regular guy, and I'm not really. I just need pound for pound play. Which one am I buying? Why should I buy a V-Stage when the Fantom exists? When the Fantom 8 exists?
It's this is always a tough question because what's right for me might totally be wrong for you. So I always tell the players, I'm like, what do you want the keyboard to do? What is the job of the keyboard? What is your key functions? For me, the Fantom, I love it. Like I said, it's in my desk. That's my hub of my studio. It's so. It just really depends. One thing that we're able to do on the V-Stage that we can't do on the Fantom is we have where the scenes, we can switch scenes and the V piano doesn't cut off in the V-Stage. The Fantom can't do that yet. And it might be because Fantom also offers you 16 zones of sound where the V-Stage offers you 5, So also Fantom, like you said, sampling, that's one thing it does. Fantom, we can do 32 in, and then on this guy, we what was it? I forget because it's like, was it 17? 18 or something like that.
18, I think when you pulled it up.
And yeah, it was 18. So to me, it just really varies. You know what I mean? It's a tough question, but that's when because people ask me, like, well, what's my favorite keyboard? I'm like, well, what's the job? What's the
Yeah.
job? Like Sheridan was saying, like I could take a Jupiter XM, and I've thought about doing the Sheridan just for fun, taking a Jupiter XM and a JDXI and just doing a gig with the two little keyboards and just smoking somebody, just so they could like, I could smoke you.
Don't tell me what a good time.
Please send a picture. Please send us a picture. I think it really depends on what are you trying to do. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to say one over the other because they both have their different jobs in there. So Fantom doesn't have USB-C, because that was a couple years ago when we were working on that. Fantom's also used in a lot of tours and controlling a lot of rigs also as a master keyboard, which the V-Stage, it just depends. Also, Fantom doesn't have the waterfall where
for the organ.
This one does for the organ. So it's just a different thing.
Yeah, it's such an interesting. I say that because when we're talking studio, like I have a Fantom 6 over here.
Yeah.
Studio all day long, it just makes sense because it's a production board, and I that's what I use it for, and it just works in that setup. But when we start talking about the live players, the guys, they're not really. I mean, they may need the sampler because they're importing sounds from other sources or whatever, their own custom things or whatever. They may need the sampler for that, but and then there's some people I know Sheridan has delved deep into utilizing the sequencer live because it has the functions that kind of work like Ableton. It works like that.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is most live players aren't utilizing those functions. Not in our world. Not as heavy as they need to. Most people are buying these boards for the sounds. I need the feel, the sounds. Does it have what I need? Does it sound the way I need it to do? Does it accomplish that? And then when you look at V-Stage and you stack them next to each other, it's like, I'm even thinking to myself, like, if I was buying a board today, which one would, I walk into Guitar Center or wherever, and I'm like, dang, which one am I getting? I like the way this Fantom 8 feels. And I like the touch screen, and I like the way I can get around it real quick. But this V-Stage is the new shiny kid, the new shiny knife in the in the drawer, and it's like that's looking cool too. So you know what I mean. Like, I just think they live in just two different places, and it makes it difficult because you're getting some of the same sounds I can get on both boards. I can get V piano, I can get the EPs, I can get all of those different things, Zen-Core, all of that.
Yeah, it's to
Well,
me.
and-
Oh, was you gonna say
Go ahead. I'm
Sheridan?
sorry.
No, you good. You good, Ed. Go ahead. We'll let the
Okay,
vet speak and then
usually, like, I don't gig as much as I used to. Just been busy with my career. But when I gig, I usually take 3 keyboards. Okay, so in the past, my 3 keyboards of choice are always a Fantom as the main, always a Fantom, and then always a VK8. Because that's because I just love organ. I love organ, and I want a keyboard that's its job. I just love it.
That's good.
I'm gonna find a way to use the organ. I don't care what sound it is. But so now instead of the VK8, this will fit into that slot. And then I also take one more synth. I call it my Sleeping Beauty. That's my V-Synth GT. So that's my V-Synth GT, I consider that my race car. So that's that when I play that keyboard, that's the what the heck was that keyboard? That's that one. So
yep.
yeah, that's
and it
that
still got
one,
that old
but,
sauce. Teddy Riley, producer for Michael Jackson, still uses the V-Synth GT.
Yeah.
That's on his rider.
A lot of cats still use V-Synth GT, and that one came out, I think, at 2007, and then because of the way the whole economic system was around 2007, 2008, it suffered in the price. It just went up and up. It was just the exchange rates and stuff. But guys that have V-Synth GTs were like, never giving it up. Oh, never. And then one day I'm going to will it to somebody that deserves it. Like, nope. So anyway, but for me, but my point is each one of those are killers in their own right, but each one has a different job. You know what I'm saying? So
that's very good.
That's how I feel. Just like back in the day, I always wanted to. Back in the day in college, I always wanted a RD 500 and a VK7. I thought I could rule the world. You know?
I had that. That was my setup.
Yeah.
Yo, that 90,
Yeah.
95 to 2001, that was my setup. I had a RD 500 and I had a VK7. That was my setup for 5 years.
And then I had a XP50. Love my XP. She was mean.
Come on, Doc. Now you preaching.
I had an XP50 and a Korg X5 because I couldn't afford the X3.
Wait.
So
I got a Korg X. Still got my Korg X5. It's right. Let me see if I can. It's right at the bottom. Let me get over here. Let's go full screen.
Yeah.
It's right over there at the very bottom here. Like I'm pointing at it right there. That's my X5 right there in that area.
Yeah.
Love that board. That's Master Funk. Come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Like that's
there's different ones. When I'd be playing it, but a lot of times I'll do gigs with these keyboards. Like I'm gonna probably just go get a pickup gig, like with some corporate band just for fun. Like I know on occasion I'll reach out to some of the corporate guys that I know that play in these bands, and I'm like, hey man, let me sit in. And they're like, Ed, I don't know if we have budget for you. I'm like, no, I just want to play, so I have a story, so I can try this, because you want to see how it really works under the thing, and so that's what I would do a lot. I'll just like, hey, let me sit in. They just shoot me the list of the songs. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. And I try and do that with all the keyboards, so that way I kind of like, all right, because everybody has a little bit different flavor when you kind of do it. So that's how I kind of and I get great stories for work. Like, oh, this is how you run this.
That's funny.
So it's fun.
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's so
Ed,
good.
I think you articulated that point really good, though, brother. I think and I think John said it too. It's all in what you use it for. But my thing is, and I'm a challenger, man. Everybody that's in these comments, if you're watching this on a replay, I am challenging you. I'm your boy. I'm your brother. I am challenging you to be a nerd for 5 minutes and figure out what these boards do. Because number one, it'll save you money. Two, it'll save you time. Because when you have to get on a gig and you don't know what you're going to be playing and you maybe have a board in your arsenal, like if somebody hit me up right now, and I always give this scenario, if somebody hit me up right now, they was like, I need you to play on this gig. You're going to play colors. You got to bring your own board. Or I need to play on this gig. I don't know if you're going to be playing main or colors. You got to bring your own board. It's going to be it's an easy thing for me. I'm taking my baby. I'm taking the Fantom because I can play main. I can play colors. I mean, I just played the MKS for you. That's my main rig right there. And then everything else in there is colors. I'm doing arpeggios. I'm doing sweeps. I'm doing horns. I'm doing J-pop forever, strings, pads. I'm doing sine waves, all of that. But what it boils down to, and I understand the question of why would I pay $4,000 for a V-Stage when I could pay $2,500 for a RD2000? Well, what are you using it for? Are you using it for primarily organ? Is this gig organ heavy? And do you actually play organ to where you play drawbars? Because I'm a challenger, John. And I told John this.
Yeah, that's why I have you on.
We organ players that use pedals. We use pedals, and a lot of people that was walking up to that Nord booth, they was playing crisscross applesauce and playing just the organ. No. Play the pedals too. It's an organ. Like them B3s got pedals on them, bro, and they ain't got them there so you can slap it for the rhythm. They got those are notes.
Stupid.
Those are notes. Play them. But my point being is every keyboard has its function, like Ed said. Every keyboard has its function, and when you go on a gig and you may need simple sounds like keys, organ, and maybe some pads, that's cool. You can use the V-Stage. But if you need keys, organs, pads, and you need quick recall with faders, and you're not really organ heavy, that's an RD2000 or a Fantom at its best. I'm just saying. And I mean, the Fantom has a plethora of options. The Fantom 8, Fantom 08,
Word of the day.
707, 606.
Plethora.
I got a 7 right here. I got a 7 right here, and I take that out, no problem. I love what you're saying. Let me challenge all of you cats out there that don't say I don't program. Let me challenge you on this one.
Give us a quick one.
Take us to church,
real
Ed.
quick. So, can you do this? Can you program this? I'm going to have the organ, right? But can you program it where it does this? Organ, but then when I hit hard, brass. Can you do that? All my young program. I know. John and Sheridan are like, come on, Ed. But I challenge you. Can you make it where you can be like, figure that out. and I'm gonna give
because
you a
when
hint.
you do something like that, go ahead.
Yeah. It's called velocity. I'm gonna give you a hint. It's called velocity. I'm not gonna tell you how to do it. I challenge you. Go ahead, Sharon. I like where you're going. I know your point. Go say it.
Because when you do something like that, then you get curious and dig a little deeper. You might be playing a piano and you might want to put some bells on it to where you make the velocity. Let me hit hard and I hit a bell on top and then I just play the piano, back piano, and then hit hard. And then you turn that into a split. I mean, it grows. And that's the thing with being a programmer. We didn't start out as geniuses. We didn't start out as know-it-alls in this game. We started out with one idea, researched that idea, found other ideas as a consequence, and now we have a wealth of knowledge on these boards that help supplement what we do. And Ed, correct me if I'm wrong, don't it make the job easier?
Oh man, and then I love it when other keyboard players that have the same keyboard as you, they come up and go, "How come my keyboard don't do that?" Well, you didn't do the homework.
Right.
You
didn't do the homework.
And I will share this that I say with love that does get on my nerves. Don't come up to me and say, "Ed, I don't read manuals." And I can't help you. So I always tell, and I guess as I get older, I feel like my job, partly not only with Roland as a keyboard guy, is I want to help the next generation. So I'm telling you, read the manual a little bit at a time. I always do a little bit of manual time, couch time, and then something when the manual just kind of just like, and I figure out, and it opens up a whole new set of doors. Like Sheridan said, it opens up a whole new set of doors, and then you start digging, and I'm gonna do splits, and I'm gonna have the pedal do something over here, but I'm gonna have the other pedal or the pitch bend do the pitch bend and mod over here, and then I'm gonna so and then you start separating yourself as a big boy. Like, check it out what I
That's
do.
funny.
So
there's a reason why all these
that.
buttons on these keyboards. There's a reason why all of these buttons
and a
these
lot of cats
keyboards.
only scratch. I've met cats in my career that say, "Oh, the Fantom whatever, this it's horrible, doesn't do this," and then I go, "You mean this? It doesn't mean this?" It's like, dude, dig into it. Just here's real quick how I put it. You just bought you a Ferrari. Your Ferrari's horrible. Why is your Ferrari horrible? You can't drive a stick. The Ferrari's gonna be horrible.
Bingo.
You didn't learn how to drive it. So same thing. Learn how to drive these instruments, and then just know that Roland instruments, we do offer a lot under the hood. That once you learn how to talk to her, you learn how to really go in there. It's gonna pay you back. You're gonna get that gig. You're gonna be able to not have to have a real job. You're gonna be able to have some fun.
You'll find the similarities in the boards too, because I didn't just start out on this Fantom. This joint came out in 2019. I didn't start out on this. I started out like Ed on the XP50. You know what I'm saying? Where nobody was making sequences in the XP50. I had whole songs in there. But it was because I saw a guy came to my church. He was like, "Hey man, check out this song," and started playing. I'm like, "Dude, how did you do that?" He gave me the quick rundown. I had the same keyboard at my crib. It happened. So that when I upgraded to the Fantom, the Fantom S, and then the Fantom X, and then the Fantom G, and now this Fantom, and keyboards in between, including the Jupiter 80, which has a interface that's synonymous with the Integra 7, I know how to get around. And to even Brian, he said the Jupiter 80 didn't have J-pop in it. I actually found out that it did have J-pop in there. It was just one parameter that needed to be tweaked a little bit better for it to sound good. But the way I found that is because I learned how to tweak sounds in the Integra 7. Ed, do you know a lot of people don't know that the Integra 7 can directly interface with an iPad, and you can use the faders just like you use faders on a Fantom on your iPad?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
There's a lot of things, and it goes back to, like I said earlier, about reading the manual and doing stuff. And it's like, it goes the more you put into something, like, I will say this, a lot of the incredible, talented young players that I saw at NAMM that would sit in and play, and I watch other companies, I see these incredible players. I know you've done your homework with chords and runs and metronomes and all that stuff. That's great. Now dig into the other part of the instrument. Really make it shine. Make it yours. make it yours. And that's the cool thing with like the V-Stage. Very easy to make it yours. And you guys saw me when I was demoing. I stayed, and you can even see in the video, I stayed in the same scene. And we were just, I didn't go to like, I have a chain, a scene chain where I can have different I just stayed in the same one, and we just kind of did everything, cooked right there. So just
so good.
Just do it. Just have fun. Sorry, I feel like we're going on a little side.
No, this is good. The chat is chatting. The chat is chatting. Everybody is loving this conversation. I did see a couple of more questions that I thought was relevant along the way, and we'll see how long we've been live. I don't want to hold the people too long. We're right at 2 hours. Praise the Lord. This has been a good one. There's a few more questions, and then we're gonna let everybody get, because my stomach is saying, "Yo, the conversation is good, but I can start to smell the good food upstairs that the wife is making."
Yes, sir.
And I'm like, you know what? I love y'all.
Sister Williams.
Sister Williams is cooking. Yep. So let's see. My guy Josh Riggins is back. He said, can each section, organ, piano, and EPA have its own designated effects?
Yeah. A lot of them do. And we also have a total effect. I'm just switching over. We also have total effects in here. So in the different sections, so we have the total effects over here, which we have different sends in here. So check it out. I think you can see my screen.
Yeah, we got you.
Different sends that we can go ahead and have in here. And so you see right away, we can adjust what goes where in here. And you see different ones. And then if we look like in the E-piano section, it has its own MFX section for the E-piano, We got that, and then we have some, and the organ has some of its ones, like, here it is, get out of here. We go into, like, some of the drive and some of that stuff, the stuff that's more associated with organ. So, yes, so a lot of these will have their own separate effects, but then if you saw at the end here, we do have MFX, delay, and chorus that's going to cover all of them or whatever they're routed to. And then we also have a master EQ, which I like this one because we have different settings we can do in here, and that's pretty cool. And then we also have a master compressor.
That's wild.
Which we can use. We can use and John, we're not even, we haven't, there's so much, baby. There's so much.
Oh, he got a 76. Yeah.
And
I'm clocking.
And we have that, and then we have, different settings in there. So, yeah, the answer, Josh, is yes. Yes.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
And, yeah, it's fun, but back to the point, you dig in it, and I'm gonna do my best, and so is my other friends at Roland, my other partners, to show you the way. Like, check it out, man. We'll show you. Don't be ashamed. Yeah.
Let's see. I got a couple of more here. Is the Smiley Vibe says Smiley Vibes polyphony with connected different controllers. I think he meant to say that the other way around. Is the polyphony different when you connect other controllers, external controllers?
No, because polyphony is directly connected to the engine.
The engine itself.
We haven't talked about. Yeah, we haven't talked about polyphony in the organ engine. It's full polyphony because it's its own engine. In the V piano, it is full polyphony. It's its own engine. And the electric piano and the two synth parts, so technically 3 parts, they share 256 notes of polyphony.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah, so that's something cool.
That's nice. Okay, let's see.
Understand that polyphony, especially on the Zen-Core, is referring to how many sections of wavetables it's using. So if you have 4 wavetables on one sound, then every time you press one note, you're not pressing one note, you're pressing 4.
Yeah.
Come on, share it in the scientists. That's good. Okay, this has been dope. I think. We could go on and on and on. And the food is.
We could
smelling.
do a part 2. I'm down.
Oh, I'm totally down to do a part 2. But the part 2 is going to be live when you get out here with the board. When you come to Charlotte, and we'll be able to sit down with the board, it directly, and then I can really dig in. So this has been really good. This has been an amazing live, and I appreciate you, Ed, for sharing with us all of the knowledge on this board. I'm just happy that you guys took the time and sat down with us. I think another question that came in that I saw was, he said, John Mike, are you buying a V-Stage? And the answer to that is absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Actually, I'm talking with Ed about seeing if we can get something going with that, and we'll tap in on that. We're working on something. We're working it out. We're working it out. He's working it out for me. But yeah, we're gonna get in on that. So I'm excited to be able to share more about this, and I'm excited about being able to even dig in once I get my hands on it itself and be able to show it to you guys directly, and maybe even create some libraries, do some stuff. Let's figure out how we're going to get the MKS in there. I think Ed is going to take it back to his people and have a conversation, and we'll see what that looks like. And then I just love it, man. So Ed, you have an amazing channel as well here on YouTube and amazing socials. How can people connect with you if they want to connect with you, even outside of just the Roland thingamajig?
Well, you can connect with me on YouTube at Ed Diaz Keys at YouTube. Also on Instagram, Ed Diaz Keys. That's probably the easiest way. On Facebook, it's tough. I miss a lot of questions on Facebook. I miss a lot. So because I get them from all over the world, and it's tough. It's tough, But yeah, you can just try and hit me up. I'll try and get to as many questions as I can. Also, if you go to YouTube and look up Roland Product Support on YouTube, that's where we'll post a lot of the how-to content for a lot of our synthesizers and other Roland Boss products. So just try and then if I'm ever in town and you see, come and visit. Come and visit. I love hanging out, and I love showing you the gospel that is Roland. Oh,
the gospel that is Roland. I love
come on,
that.
Yeah, come on now.
Yes,
so come out. And we're gonna continue. So yeah, just reach out, and I recognize some of these names in the chat, so that's pretty cool.
Super dope, man. I appreciate you guys locking in with us, bringing my music in. This has been a good one. This has been a fun one. I'm excited to get back in. I appreciate you guys tapping in with us on Keys and Conversations. We're going to keep this conversation going, so I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit the like button, the share button. Make sure you follow my man Sheridan Shanway on all his socials as well. I think he put his stuff in the chat earlier. Make sure you follow my guy Ed Diaz. Get on the bandwagon with both of those guys. Like, subscribe. Make sure you follow your boy John Mike, and we're going to talk to you guys on the next one. This has been fun. We'll be back later with some more stuff. We out. Holla at your boy. Peace.